kleine Hunde dort falsch nutzen. Oder müsste der da drin? Ja, das sehe ich nicht sagen, das hat mich mal interessiert. Ob das ist der gleiche, der die neugotischen Altäre Johannesspital gemacht hat und so weiter. Oder nein, der hat ja so in das Anfängen von
Że ci 20 nie czytam. To jestem fotograf.
Really?
Aber das ist dann nicht richtig.
Die wollten, aber die wollten gerne die Kosten.
Ja, das ist auch eine
Ah, Entschuldigung. So mit Rollstuhl ausgefahren. Das gar verleiht. Nein, so bleibt stehen mit Rollstuhl. Bringt aus der Rollstuhl rein. Hurra, ich kann nicht mehr gehen, ich kann nicht. Dann geht's in die Welt, weil der ist in den Krankenhaus mit Welt, weil die alle Stunden der Hand konnten. Und da hat dann so emotional nicht gewesen, der wo ist das? Wir haben auch die Kinder haben natürlich alles gern. Weil es echt Kinder bringen. Also da echt Kinder, die kriegen es. Wenn es da so in so Sekretariat ist, sonst bin ich so ein bisschen Spaß. Und das war früher aber auch.
Schreibst natürlich schreibst du gut aus.
The reason is for me because even in the Bremen, it's just all of the Europeans coming there and looking for possibility to describe these things, and they asking why the Americans come to Europe to play, because we understand that the American music is a part of the American culture, and the jazz is most of the music which we kind of the copy, and they said how we can open door to United States, because all of the musicians which learn the music and they play jazz, they're interested to play with American musicians and to present the talent in the other countries. And they say, no, this is too complicated, blah blah blah. Even American market is full of the musicians. For example, if you go to New York, but not much people they're playing organ in the Hammond in New York. There are only few. Joe Delanetta,
Francesco,
he's playing with the thing, but he's really big.
Literally big, and also big, great player.
When I see him playing with Steve Gadd and Kiev, and
amazing show,
But you play different style. You play your own things, and it can be interesting that if you make some influence about the Austrian kind of feelings, to put it in the organ.
That is very interesting, because I think European musicians did that very much in the last years. Not maybe in the very last years, but over the last 10-15 years. I think it was chic or en vogue or in fashion to incorporate our roots, European roots, and make sort of like a Euro jazz or even Balkan jazz, all the people from Balkan, like Serbia to Romania, Bulgaria, to do this version of jazz, which is great, and at the end of the day, jazz is sort of became a synonym for improvised music. But then again, for me, my language or my music or my art, so to say, is something different and might be in a way slightly more American, but I don't see it like that. I see it more, I really like this music, and it became an international language, and it became international, just like an invention, like somebody made this wonderful invention, coffee, and the coffee beans come from South America or Africa, and Italians invented the macchina, so we can enjoy this wonderful thing. So I think the roots of this music are in the United States, and I don't necessarily need to play an Austrian polka in a jazz way or a yodla in a jazz way. I think I can just dig into this nice invention, not the coffee now, but the blues and jazz and soul, and I just soak all this up and just express my feelings, emotions, songs, tell my story with this kind of language and potential, and I try to add my own view and my style and my and tell my story. So I think I don't necessarily need to go back and do yodla and this and that. I can just do whatever I like to do, and I think it became an international thing. And to come back what you said, it's an exchange of culture, and then I tried to connect with different musicians and come up with something nice that people can enjoy.
Do you know that when you ask the word, when you tell the word called jazz, everybody have his own picture.
Yeah.
Everybody thinking that jazz for him means something like jazz for him. And for example, when we try to understand the jazz now, and they have lots of variation. Bebop, old jazz, big band jazz, free jazz, improvisation, soul jazz, blues, and the guitar jazz, and the fusion jazz, and lots of areas and lots of things. And then most of the people trying to understand that if you make a concert and you call jazz, people not really come because they're thinking it's music like a 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
And you said that this is improvising music. They didn't think that, oh, what's kind of the improvising music? And probably the world must to create a new format, a new word, which you can say
that's a very
this is not jazz. It just can be, the pop is a pop, rock is a rock, disco is a disco.
But then again, if you tell me pop, for example, I would mostly not be so attracted, because pop usually I would
there's lots of music also.
And there could be very interesting stuff in pop, so I might be really enthusiastic about it, but like this word maybe just is not. But I think we need to
for example,
change.
if I ask you how we call the modern music which are playing the roots of the jazz, but this is not really jazz, how we call it?
Well, the thing is, I think we need to lose these terms and drawers. So we open this, and this is jazz, this is guitar jazz, this is. I think we need to lose this kind of separation. It's all music, and music is to be enjoyed. So people should be able to enjoy music, and people who play music should have the main goal to entertain people, to create something and create a momentum that people can enjoy. And I hope if people come to my concerts, you see hopefully a lot of smiling, happy faces, or maybe a lot of people dancing, or a lot of people dancing, or a lot of people screaming or jumping up and having a good time. And that's, I think, my goal. That's the main goal, like to create this. And I think it's not necessarily what you call it or label it. So I think maybe everybody needs to train the audience more to create something that music is something great, and everybody loves it. Like young kids love it, even dogs walk by and hear something, you know. So I think like music is a beautiful thing, and I think like that's more like to sell this, saying music is great, and we have all these different forms and kinds of music, and create something that like people are more aware of music again. I think all these platforms like Spotify and stuff, it's like the value of music is like going down, but at the end of the day, everybody on this planet can enjoy music. Even some religions who say like, oh, we don't want music. Every human being understands music. I might not understand Chinese, but you know, if he plays a Chinese folk song, I can hear something and I can receive a message. And the music is an international language. Like it's our.
Most of the people now saying that the music business, making money goes to the crisis, because so many musicians, so many internet portals, so many possibility to show up the music. Nobody wants to buy the CD. Everybody download the MP3 file as looking like this is a good quality for music, and that's some kind of the crisis which gives a young generation thinking possibility, why I must be a musician, because there's no money in this business. But even for that situation, in the world appear young kids which said, I want to be the jazz musician. And they don't care about these things, and they're just trying to present some kind of his way in the music. How you can understand that you are a jazz musician?
question. I think you need to have this passion to tell your story, or to play, to be involved, to feel this momentum, to feel, in my case, to feel this momentum when I play the organ, and like, wow, that sounds great, like that's pretty cool, or like that's cool, or like hear my friend on the drums, like wow, that lifts me up. Just to feel this is incredible. Like you cannot buy this with no money.
And you start from organ. You don't
play the little piano. I played the little piano, but very short, and then very soon switched to organ.
How you first time met this instrument?
That's a good question. I think it was more or less. I started on piano, and I've been attracted to sort of, let's say, improvised music. I first played, and you know, like you play whatever Mozart or Beethoven, and you try to learn, you know, written music, so sheet music, and then I figured, oh, it's very stiff. I need to just copy what's written, what somebody has written down, like way before. So yeah, so it's like it was kind of too boring, and then I realized, okay, I can try to create something. I can listen to stuff and whisper something, you know, and whistle something even, and then try to play it on the piano. And so I figured, and then I got in touch with this improvised music, like jazz and blues and soul. I thought, wow, this is cool music, and I tried to listen to stuff and play it on the piano. And by playing this kind of music, I've been hearing Hammond organ. And I heard piano, and I thought, wow, what's this sound? Like, that's even cooler. And then I tried to find the sound on a keyboard. And then in the first bands, I played a little piano, but I immediately soon switched to organ. And I like this better, this is more powerful. And so I figured, and I got even more involved into this organ music. And then I decided to buy a first Hammond keyboard, a smaller one, and then very soon a Hammond organ, which is for a young guy, I guess quite interesting. But I guess in my case it was not so young, because I think it was
But this is only
18 or so.
No teacher said
No.
to you.
It was just me, and also I'm self-taught, like I'm self-taught, so no teachers. But still, I think it's kind of late, like 18, 19. Because for example, there's young kids that start to play organ like now as 4 years old.
No, it's a very interesting story, that because my first experience, I heard organ in the John Lord playing in the Apple, like in 1973, 1975. That's my first time to listen the sound of this music. And also was in Kaunas in Estonia, and I was to big church, and I go and there's nobody there, and the musician
I played the festival in Kaunas actually.
Playing the organ, and
in Kaunas, there was
I mean, the sound is really, you can possibly, nothing compares, because if you're staying in the church and the organ playing in the church, even the classical music or any kind of the music, even there can be any kind of music, but this makes so impressions for the audience and for the people who stay there. And I think that maybe it's really interesting that how you choose your way to be your own music, or you go into the rock music like John Lord did, or you can go to the classical music like Bach playing in the or Anton Bruckner playing in the lanes.
Yeah. Well, my approach is different. Like I think like I play my music now, and that is like can be a lot too. There can be jazz, there can be blues, there can be rhythm and blues, funk, soul. So I think that is like my my style, and I think I found my way. Like I think there's nobody else who plays like this. I think. Well, that sounds very, but I think it is actually. I'm trying to prove it tonight. So
yeah.
So
we will see. We will see.
Exactly. I don't think so. You know, like
for example, how do you see the future of running, of the way of the possibility to present the music in the last one? Because now we're sitting in the cafe, which are jazz cafe, and we will see how many people come, because most of the people like this kind of style. And for example, for you, is it jazz now in the or any kind of improvisation music, I keep going up because the people start to listen and likes different style of music than disco, than rock, heavy metal, and things, and some new generation come up to the roots of the music.
Well, I think this is a very hard task, like to incorporate the young generation. But I think that's what we need to find, like ways to incorporate them. Because like when they come to the show, they really like it. So I think we need to find ways to make it come to the concerts, and that's very hard. I don't know what it is. I mean, YouTube is something, but that's also bad actually for the music scene a little bit. You know? It's a platform that everybody checks out stuff and listens to stuff, but also like all these guys don't get to the young guys. I think I can go on YouTube. I check this band on YouTube. I don't go and see the concert, and that's very wrong. I think because you can't get the feel and the atmosphere on YouTube, and that's really what like old school musician like created. So you go and see this musician, this artist, and he creates this atmosphere, and you can't just put that on YouTube. You can't like soak up like the atmosphere and send it over the internet.
No, the live music is different than anything like you can be copied. I mean, even today I'm driving in the car and I see and I listen to music on the CD, and I understand that when I was on a concert and I see the things how they are realized, and my feelings of the concert was absolutely different than I'm listening to the recording version. But also the ways just enjoy things. Okay, now you're working with lots of the foreigner musicians, but for example, if somebody asks you, and I give you a chance to ask any musician to be part of your band, what kind of, can you ask like a full musician which you take into your band in a jazz way? Who, for example, if you have the money to invite anybody to play with you and make a CD, who can be a part of it?
That's a very hard question, because I think I don't like that really, because like there's some good musicians that can play whatever fast, technical, and I'm not into this, and in a way I just did something like this, but like more like on a smaller budget. I just recorded the CD in New Orleans with some of the musicians that I thought they are the best, you know, like, and invited them as guests and invited some of them to be part of the core band. So it's a very hard question, because I can't really answer this so much. I like some players I like very much, but in a way I have to say like my music is very versatile, so I would probably name the same musicians that are actually in my band. Like for example Alex Schultz, like that would be great if I have like a lot of budget, so I can pay the guys that I really like more. I think I would still ask some of the same guys. I would maybe ask Scofield. John Scofield. I think I prefer Alex.
Ah, wow.
Really, yeah. I think he has like a better style for me. And he's
on the bass.
Well, let's stick to the guitar thing. Like I think like actually like Alex Schultz is like also very high up on the scale, like musically, like Scofield. Like I really like John Scofield, for example. It would fit my music very good, like very well. But I think I would prefer Alex Schultz because of the taste. He's very tasteful and elegant.
And you know each other quite well.
Yes.
And
So
have a big ear.
Yeah. So in that sense, like this makes more sense to me. Maybe for the drums, you know, and like at Internet Festival, I played with Johnny Vidakovic from New Orleans. He's like one of the greatest drummers who actually worked with Scofield like many times. So like I like him very much, and like a few other musicians like on drums, like maybe from New Orleans. So like I kind of like just
Did anybody invite you to play in the contest like Switzerland do the Montreux? They have a contest for the organ musician, for the piano player, for the...
I'm
You're not fighting there?
I play music. I don't do no contest. Otherwise, I would be a sports guy. I just don't do this, and I don't like it. And I think it's crap. It's only a marketing tool, and I think music is telling a story. It's not like doing a contest. And the story can be different, and everybody. Some people like the story, some people like another story. And I think this. I never liked this contest, and I think I'm too established to be part of a contest. Does John Scofield go and do a contest? I think there's no point. There's absolutely no point. And for me, there was never a point, because I considered myself being an artist and being precious. And I have this, and maybe somebody likes it, and this is great. It's a huge feedback for me. Like if somebody likes my music, my CD, that's great. But it's too precious just to be part of a contest. Some guy telling, "Oh, this is nothing." This is just a
How
precious.
music come to your hands? When you wake up at 3 o'clock night to go to piano to record it, some things.
Sometimes, but it's still
you
very
sing
different.
in the iPhone, or how you recorded this thing?
Also, everything. Sometimes,
Ideas coming to your head.
sometimes driving in the car and I have like an idea, and then I just make a note on the phone, or I just play something at home and then mess around a little bit. But the most important thing is like to pick up this idea. So I have like many ideas on my phone, believe me or not. So I have really many of them. But it's nothing. It's just you have an idea, and it has a special vibe or feeling coming with this idea. And if you go back to the idea, and if this special vibe doesn't show up with the idea, then maybe the idea is not strong enough. So I'm trying to collect ideas, and then I kind of refresh this idea, and if the same spirit comes out, then the idea is good. And then the important stuff comes in, that you have to take this idea and take it to another level to finish the idea. Because like just an idea, a small idea, for example, like what's a song, like I have a song like it's like something small, it's like nothing there, but like that's not a song yet. So you have to take this idea and put it on another level and finish a song. And then is the next step, then you have to arrange this idea and bring in the band, or what does the band do to make this song even more of a song, and more special. So this is the next step. And then when you have all the stuff in the band, then you have to work on the details, and then you have to record it. So it's a lot of stages. And I know what I'm talking about because I just finished the CD, so it's a long process.
Yeah. Are you looking like a leader of your band?
Yeah.
For example, with the different band, I ask you, and the leader was a drummer, Steve Gett, for example,
Yeah.
or anybody, and they ask you to play some part of the music in his band, and the leader was a drummer.
Yeah, I do that.
How you can
I do that
to
very
be
often
the
too.
yeah?
I do that very often.
It's
too.
not really.
For example, tonight I'm sort of like featured artist with the singers. There's two featured artists, and I do like a little bit of my stuff, and then I try to make the band sound as good as possible, and add my talent and feelings to the. And I do this very often, or sometimes I'm backing up singers, and I use my band, and I play with my band, and we bring in guests, and we play their music too. So, and I also like to come and be just a guest of a big band, which I do very often. So like I'm special guest of a big band, because organ is a nice sound for a big band to attach. And so I travel like to Croatia or to Germany and join a big band and play their music or play my music, and just have my talent sort of for the common goal, like for the common music.
You're walking around in some of the jazz festivals to see some people, the different guys that play music, and like Marcus Miller, they pick up the young guys to playing in himself. He said that he's looking for the young musicians which are playing incredibly, and he show up the Brett Williams, which are playing the piano. He show up the Alex Khan, which are playing in the trumpets, and he show up that there's so many young musicians appear in US, and he joined them to the band to play with him. Even he see the drummers from the Snarky Puppy in the festivals, and said, "Wow, this is a good drummer. Can you play in my band also?" And the Sputnik playing and also in the band of the Snarky Puppy, which are really famous and top now, and also the playing in the. Did you search for some of your musicians, or you?
Well, I think a search like I'm very first of all I'm very happy with this, but also when you meet other guys, you always connect. For example, like what happened to me now, I just played in Belgium like with my band, and after us played Los Lobos, like the very famous American, and they invited 3 musicians to the stage, like Sonny Landgraf, a very famous slide guitar player, and Dave Gonzalez of the Paladins, also a very famous guitar player, and me, which like I'm maybe the lesser known than the other guys, but they made me stay the whole show. So they invited me like in the first half, and then I stayed for the whole concert, and they loved me, and they never let me go. And it was great. You know, like that's something you don't search really, you find. And the more you
the music find you.
And you find the musicians. You just don't need to search. You just hang out and chill, and then you just by incident. I was just there, and they heard me play, and they go, "Wow, you need to come and play."
Yeah.
What's your name, Raphael? And they have their roots, like you know, they speak Spanish, like or American. But they go, "Oh, Rafa, that's great." You know, Rafa comes and plays. And so that's kind of cool. So also I don't search for musicians, like it just comes and happens that you meet. For example, like Craig Candy that I've worked with very often now. Like we just played once for Red Bull in Salzburg, and like they brought in Craig Candy, and he asked, "Okay, I'm here alone, but let's make a small band so each musician makes a good money, and it's more efficient. We don't have like 6-7 people. Let's make a small band." So, and I like organ. Is there an organ player? So he asked Eric Zavinul, the son of Joe, and asked, "Hey, is there a good organ player in Austria?" And he was, "Oh yeah, you need to call Raphael." And so Craig brought like Horacio Hernandez, who was with Santana at that moment, and so we played together. It was great. And so Craig immediately told me, "Hey, we need to do this more often. You know, if you want to make a CD or like if you ever need a saxophone player, call me, and like I can come and I would like you to." And now we've been working for 6-7 years, and it just happened without searching. And I think this is gonna go on, you know, and like. And I go to other countries and I meet this person and I go, "Wow, this guy sounds great. You know, I want to play with this guy every now and then." Now I hooked up with a guitar player from Brazil and like a saxophone player from Boston brought us together, and we played a tour together. It was like phenomenal. It's an amazing guitar player, and I figured, wow, this is great. So he's asking me now, "Can you play on the next CD?" And we record a CD together, and I asked him for 2 concerts in Belgium and in Luxembourg in September. He comes, and then in November I go to Sao Paulo and Brazil. So you don't search, it just happens, and then you realize when you play, "Wow, this is magic, we need to do this again."
You know that we invite the former Joseph to us, the syndicate. I'd like to listen to them. Maybe because they are playing at the 16, you're leaving. You're 15, you're leaving. But anyway, when you come, because you have 2 days extra, and maybe I'll try to find out something for combine you with some people, just to see what you can feel and what you can get. Because it's kind of interesting for me. Maybe they can continue the things, because the Moritzem came here and also knocking doors for open the world to Russian musicians also, because I understand that and I realize that they can be a part of the European kind of music, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I just played a festival, like it was more focused on the soul jazz funk in south of France, and they have a Russian band, soul surfers or so what they call it.
It's just
played the stuff, and they went to south of France, and they came from St. Petersburg. So I think there's an exchange.
We will do that.
I just need to. I think I need to go back.
No problem.
To the room for a second, because we need to come here like at 6:30 to bring the instruments. And
yes.
do like a quick.
kalt. Das sind aber klein auch. Ja.